Hello all, I hope you're doing well today. A phrase I like to use on this channel is liberal authoritarianism, and yes, when you first hear it, it's something of an oxymoron. Isn't liberalism the very push against all forms of authoritarianism? Well, yes, in terms of political philosophy, it very much is. But in terms of practical reality that we're experiencing on the ground now, it's very much not. I think we're learning very slowly in the Western world that you're going to get liberalism whether you like it or not, because our globalist overlords will it so. It seems that more and more people today are saying, do you know what, I've had enough of this ride now, I'd like to get off, I don't want to see my beloved homeland turned into an economic zone. There is meaning in group identity actually, and we are a unique people and culture, and we don't want to be dissolved in an ocean of peoples and cultures from every corner of the earth who have homelands of their own and seem to think that we're evil. On top of that, we've realised there's more to life than the mere material, the corporate job, GDP, the fancy beamer. All of these things are very nice in the short term, but in the long run, do they really pay off? Seems to me that Jesus Christ was right when he said, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven rather than here on earth. This isn't just hippy-dippy liberalism, it's a core insight into what maintains the individual and a civilization in the long run. Christ's teaching was rooted in the notion that there is a transcendent dimension that's more real than the material, that in fact gives life to the material. However, in the modern world, we've got completely locked in that materialism, which is why we now view Christ's teachings as something more like being pro-mass immigration and multiculturalism. Don't you know you should be cheering on the Pride March, you stupid bigots? And now we're realising in our wonderful utopian liberal democracy that you can't get off this ride. You can't vote your way out of it, you can't think your way out of it, and if you say something the system doesn't like, they might censor you, or worse, for hate thoughts. Yet the real cherry on the cake with regards to all of this is how they manipulate things to try and make you look like the bad guy. They're the real authoritarians, forcing their worldview on the rest of the world, whether you like it or not. I want to show you one of the more egregious examples of this in the shape of Barack Obama, ex-US president and general liberal demigod. Here he is doing his best impression of Tony Blair. What I mean by that is he should be at home writing his memoirs, but somehow is still involved in global politics as some sort of general figure pushing the liberal regime all around the world. For context, Obama's trying to force two European countries, Poland and Hungary, that are desperately clinging on to their own history and heritage by their very fingertips to adopt liberal orthodoxy.
Like many of you, I've become increasingly concerned about the rising wave of authoritarianism sweeping the globe. We're seeing politicians target civil society, undermine freedom of the press, weaponize the justice system, and no one is being spared.
Now, if he's talking about liberal hegemony when he references a rising wave of authoritarianism around the globe, and when he speaks about weaponizing the justice system, he means the premiership of Keir Starmer, I think we're on the same page here, Barack, but somehow I don't think you're talking about that.
I recently sat down with 3 leaders who are part of the Obama Foundation's alumni network to discuss their work in Hungary and Poland, 2 countries on the leading edge of confronting autocracy.
Yeah, because nothing says fairness, democracy and liberation more than one of the most powerful men in the world turning his ire on 2 medium-sized countries desperately clinging on to their tradition, their national identity and their religion in an era of total chaos and forcing them to accept liberal globalism. Further, do you really think Obama is spending his time in, Nigeria or Cambodia and lecturing them about how things are getting authoritarian and they need to accept globalist liberalism? For some reason, this sort of thing is always kept for those disgusting Europeans.
People like Stefania, Sandor, and Susanna, they give me hope. And it's why a big part of our mission here at the Foundation is to connect, inspire, and empower leaders like them.
Yeah. Translation, Obama and his foundation are going to train and fund subversives and send them back into their home countries to undermine the public will and push everything towards the globalist order.
All 3 of you have been fighting the good fight and rising up in the face of significant challenges to try to strengthen democracy.
Quick reminder, democracy in liberal terms is what they want to happen.
And so you're setting an example for all of us in the United States, here in the UK,
Democracy is something to be practiced regularly.
Translation: what we want to happen and then have mass public campaigns to manipulate the public is something that needs to be practiced regularly.
We need people to be engaged and to be empowered.
To lie and manipulate everyone.
For them to feel the ownership of the country.
By giving it away to money power, globalist overlords and culture-corroding left-wing liberals.
That it's theirs. And not to give it away to someone.
Meaning, it's ours, and we're going to give it away. I mean, do you really think this lady speaks for the incredible numbers of Polish people who were out on the streets protesting their country falling to globalist liberalism recently? God bless our Polish friends, eh? However, I do worry about just how much these liberal overlords really believe their own bullshit. It's like they're high on the stench of their own putrid liberal farts. I mean, it's the hypocrisy of all this that gets me, complaining about supposed authoritarianism while forcing countries in Europe to adopt your worldview. It's absolutely sickening. Of course, as well, they'll get their money from all of this and won't live with the very multiculturalism that they endorse. I mean, despite his professed worldview, Obama himself lives in a gated community, Martha's Vineyard, which is predominantly white, and on top of that, when illegal immigrants were sent there by Ron DeSantis to see how they liked it, they were sent away to be rehoused somewhere else. But come on, of course when they promote multiculturalism and mass immigration, they mean it's for you, the stupid people, the bigots who need to be retrained by the managerial elites. They don't want any of that. They need to be left alone because they're the special, good, tolerant and kind people. Don't you know that's how democracy works? Yet all of this is but a battle within a giant war of our era. That is traditionalism versus globalism. It's why I believe we should stand with our Polish and Hungarian friends as we should the rest of the European people, and in fact people further afield from that as well who also see what's going on and don't want to see their nations, their cultures, their histories destroyed by the globalist menace. These are my thoughts as always. Do let me know what you think down below, and do consider subscribing to the channel if you're new.